And welcome back to the podcast. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the one thing you need to confidently parent your gifted kids. And no, it is not chocolate, it is not wine, it is not a movie, it is not an escape. It is so much more than that. And I'm excited to share that with you. I'm also excited to share with you what I've been working on and some grand plans for 2022. So stay tuned to find out the one thing you need to confidently parent your gifted kid. Hi, I'm Sophia Elliott. As a parent of 3 gifted kids, I'm here to talk about all things gifted. Because I've been isolated and uncertain, and I felt like that parent, then I found peace of mind, support, and my community. This podcast is about sharing that journey, actually parenting gifted kids, and connecting with advice and support. So we have everything we need for every member of our family to thrive. This is the Our Gifted Kid podcast. So what is the one thing you need to confidently parent your gifted kid? Well, in my experience, that's all about community. It's finding that place where you can talk about your kids with other parents who are going through the same journey. You can compare notes, you can commiserate with each other, you can celebrate with each other. And that's what I wanted. When I first started this journey, when I first discovered that my eldest was gifted and what that was all about, what I was yearning for was just somewhere I could go that had all the information I needed, that answered those questions that I didn't even know how to ask or that I wanted answered, that would just connect me, because I felt so incredibly isolated. I had no idea what was going on. I'd never heard of gifted before, and I just wanted some peace of mind, that this very heavy burden that I felt on my shoulders, this sense of twilight zone, the complete overwhelm and sudden responsibility of having this incredibly intelligent child that was just starting to drown me. I just needed a way out of that. And as I learned over the years, the way out of that is to find other people who get it too. Other people who, when you share the quirky things your kids do, they go, oh yeah, I get that. And here's here's what happened to me. And they share their stories, and you get to laugh and you get to cry and you get to feel like this isn't all in your head, that this is real, because there is that element of gaslighting. There's that element of, oh, you think you've got a gifted kid. There's so much myths and misunderstanding out there about what giftedness is, that when you start to talk to other people, when you start to talk to teachers, health professionals, even like psychologists, all sorts of people that you imagine should know this more than you should know it, and they're kind of sending you this message that you're making it all up. And you're sitting there thinking, well, what do I know? They're supposed to be the ones who know what a typical or atypical child looks like. And then you feel like you're in this twilight zone, like you're making it all up. And there's all that self-doubt, which contradicts the gut feeling that you've got as a parent, that gut feeling that there is something seriously not right going on, something seriously not typical going on. And as much as you don't know what the hell gifted is all about, it resonates. There's something in that just addresses that gut feeling more so than, the professional or the teacher or the other parent who's just blowing you off. And so we need that community. We need to know that we're not alone. We're not imagining all this, that this is real. And not only is it real, it's really freaking important.
It's really freaking important that we get this right for our kids, because there are repercussions. It can start to impact their self-concept, their idea of who they think they are from this ridiculously early age. And who they are is amazing. All kids are amazing. They all have these incredible strengths and incredible challenges and something wonderful to offer the world. And our gifted kids do too. And they deserve that opportunity to express that in a safe place where they're understood, whether that be at their school, in their doctor's office, when they're seeing their therapist. We need to do better as adults to understand these kids. And we also need to do better to understand ourselves, because the chances are, if our kids are gifted, neurodivergent, as parents, we probably are too. So it's a journey that we all go on together. And it's definitely a journey that I have gone on. Oh my God. So I don't know, we started out 5 or so years ago on this journey, and it was rough. It was a really rough start. We were completely clueless. Our eldest is profoundly gifted. We had no idea, never heard of giftedness before. Like so many kids, as he entered school, it went horribly wrong. And I'll never forget how incredibly distressing that was. It was awful. And yet we were so freaking lucky to find on our doorstep a school that would work for him. And within that school, a community. And from that experience and that journey, I learnt that the one thing you need to confidently parent your gifted kid is that community, is that place where you can feel like you're not alone, and it'll start to give you some confidence and peace of mind. So somewhere along this journey, a couple of years ago, I was like, right, what we really need is, what I wanted was a place I could go to with this community, with this information, and I couldn't find it out there. And so I was like, well, someone's got to do it. And I couldn't let it go. So I created our Gifted Kids podcast to start talking about giftedness, because it's such a taboo thing. And it was not easy at first. I'll never forget the first time I went live on Facebook. I'll never forget publishing the first podcast, because I was packing it. I was like, oh, it was very scary. Even though I had my community around me on the ground, and I knew that we needed these conversations, it was a big, scary step. Now I don't care. I don't give a toss what anyone else out there thinks. I'm absolutely convinced of this conversation even more every day that I get these comments from parents saying, oh, I've just binge listened to the podcast. Thank you. And when are you doing more? I listen to everyone there is. Every time I even met someone, they're like, you're the person with the podcast. I was so embarrassed. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, that's me. It's so much easier to do it online, let me tell you. But I'm really proud of this work, and I've been so incredibly humbled every time by the guests that we have on the podcast. They're just amazing and so generous with their knowledge and their time. And I just feel incredibly grateful, for myself and all of you on this journey, that every time, I've contacted someone in literally more than 9 times out of 10, it's like, yeah, I would love to. Sometimes it's hard to find a date, but people want to talk about this, those people within the community. And so the podcast was all about bringing together parents, educators, academics, professionals together to have a conversation, because there's some great research out there. But as a parent, I'm busy. I don't have time to research and find all of that. I want to find that for you. And so our Gifted Kids is always about saving parents time and energy and just laying it all out there It's what I wanted when I first started on this journey. And it's been developing. So we've been doing the podcast for a little bit over a year. We're over 26,000 downloads, at least last time I checked, which just boggles my brain because I wasn't as consistent last year as I would have liked. You know, there was that small issue of burning out and realizing I was gifted and autistic, that little old thing, which knocked me for a 6 for a bit there. So I'm really excited about this year ahead. My youngest is at school now, which is amazing. If you've ever been in that position as a parent, I'm really excited for him, and I'm really excited for me because it's a game changer. And I've got great plans for this year and for this community, and just so we continue to celebrate giftedness. So where are we going? Well, we've been doing our 9 days of rest because I realized I was not alone in burning out. And I realized how common that is for parents of gifted kids because, you know, we're servicing these kids with such high needs and for like years longer than what a typical child would need, that support and co-regulation. So we're burning out as well as parents. And I definitely burnt out last year. So in my journey to figure out what rejuvenated me, I'm taking everyone along with me. And it's like I feel great. So that's super exciting. And I'm really excited to share those discoveries with everyone else as well. But our gifted kids this year, we are starting a new journey. And that is with the Our Gifted Kids Hub. And this is what I'm calling an early bird launch. So I'm opening the doors, I'm inviting people in, and I'm actually quite proud of what we've created. I'm really excited with all of the plans I've got for it over the year. But what it is a resource for parents. So 7 reasons you might like to join the Our Gifted Kids Hub. 1, confidence in understanding what gifted is all about. Support in parenting your gifted kids. Peace of mind that you'll get through this. Connection with other parents of gifted kids. Relief from having a direction and knowing what your journey is. Safe places to share and talk about your journey, and a place to belong and be seen in a great community. So Our Gifted Kids has always been about bringing people together, saving time and energy for parents by laying it all out there. That's why we bring in the academics and the experts on the podcast, because we want to hear what their experience is, what their knowledge is all about, so that it can help us parent. So right now, the door is open for this early bird launch of the Our Gifted Kids Hub. It's going to close midnight, Monday, the 24th of January. And let me share a little bit about what is inside the hub. First of all, it's everything you need to know about gifted. I've done an online course, and that's a part of the package. And it goes through like everything I could think of. Part 1 is actually free and on the website, and you can check that out. It's, you know, how the gifted brain work. And then in part 2, and then the rest of the resources and information, it goes through like all of those terms that you come across. Asynchronous, the different levels, the bell curve, the history of the IQ test. What else is in there? What is a percentile? What's the difference between gifted, highly gifted, and profoundly gifted? Just everything. There is also a pathway through parenting gifted kids, which I call the journey to a new normal. 5 steps that take you from survive to thrive. First of all, we have got understanding gifted. We need to know what we're dealing with, right? Secondly, is education is power. So it's what do we need to know to get that educational fit right? Third one is finding their happy place. So it's all about how do we support our child's emotional well-being. The fourth one is actually about a new blueprint for the family. So often on this journey, We start on this journey because our child is in crisis or struggling. And because that's immediate, we need to deal with that. We need to understand what gifted is all about. We need to understand what educational fit they need, and we need to understand more about their health and well-being. But after that, we need to make sure the rest of the family is okay as well. What is going on in the rest of the family? And that includes other kids and the grown-ups. So parents, we need to look after ourselves. And in some ways, we need to look after ourselves like first. That should almost be the first step, because if we can't be there for them, if we burn out like I did last year, then we're no good to anyone. But the reality is, when your kid is in crisis, you kind of got to deal with that first because they need you. So the fourth step is all about everyone else's well-being. And the fifth step is about actually looking forward into the future. So every month we have a live online information sessions and live online gatherings, an opportunity to meet other parents of gifted kids. There is access to our private Facebook group, and there is like member-only podcast, video and interview content, as well as the actual Hub portal itself. So the Hub portal is an online resource with all of this information in it. And there's an absolute ton in there already, but I have plans for more. So it's at your fingertips. You can search for a topic if there's something in particular that you're looking for, or you can just have a look at the content library and check that out. So as our first official early bird launch, it's only $24.99 a month. And as long as you remain a financial member, it stays at $24.99 per month. Future launches, there may be an increase in price, but you will always be at that price. Or you can pay $249.90 for an annual subscription and get 2 months free. So if you are ready to have peace of mind and confidence while consciously parenting your gifted kids, to take on life without feeling isolated and unsure, then you are ready for the Our Gifted Kids Hub. So it's peace of mind and support for the equivalent of a coffee per week. You can cancel at any time, so what have you got to lose? Do it now so you don't forget. You can go to hub.ourgiftedkids.com/sign up, and I'll put a link in the notes. The doors will close on midnight, Monday, the 24th of January, because then we get on about doing the work and engaging and using all that information. And I will open them again later on in the year, but they won't be permanently open because I want to focus on the members and what's going on in the hub in those mean times. So I'm actually super excited about this. I had a number of founding members come on board late last year. And so we've been in there, we've been kind of feeling our way through it and seeing what parents were looking for. And so what we have in this kind of Hub 2.0 is the result of that work. And I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful to those founding members for coming on that journey with me and having the faith in me to come on that journey when we were really just starting out. And there's such an amazing group of parents. I love you all. Thank you so much for having that faith in Our Gifted Kids and helping me build something awesome. I absolutely love engaging with you guys, and I'm really excited about what we can create together for parents of gifted kids. It doesn't have to be so hard. We can do this. We can make something wonderful that just makes it so much easier. And I think that we've really got that here. So thank you so much to those founding members for coming on that journey with me. You will always have a warm place in my heart and it's hugely appreciated. So if you're ready for the Our Gifted Kids Hub, the link is in the show notes, and I really look forward to seeing you there. Talk to you soon.
If
Bye.
you enjoyed this episode and it inspired you in some way, I'd love to hear about your biggest takeaway in the comments. For more episodes, you can subscribe, and to help others find our podcast, please leave a review. You can find show notes and more resources at ourgiftedkids.com. and connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. See you in the same place next week.